So apparently, the new speech czar is Nina Jankowicz. All right, she's the head of the Disinformation Governance Board. The Ministry of Truth that was just created. And of course, she, has like the usual like establishment stance that like free speech is dangerous to the poor little marginalized people. Like this is how these people operate. Like they always have it's either going to be like there's some little victim that they need to protect, or there's some boogeyman out there like the Russians that they need to protect you from. And it's hilarious that these people are like they're literally just coming out and saying like, yes, we need to protect the midterms from disinformation. Okay, which really means they need to manipulate public perception so that they stay in power. Right? That's all it is. And they're scared to death. Like this is the funny thing. Like they said that they have to protect minorities, specifically the Latino community, from misinformation. It's like these people are scared to death of losing the stranglehold they have on minorities, because they have this whole like social justice push where they've convinced minorities that like every evil in the world is white people, and they're like the benevolent government that's saving you from white supremacy. And they like they say this stuff out loud. Okay, this is why they hate white people, because they're like, oh, you freedom is white supremacy. Like if you feel entitled to freedom, you're a white supremacist. It's a key part of white supremacy. It's beyond ridiculous. All right, but this is just a new group of unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats whose job is to police speech. Okay, I mean, of course they've been manipulating perceptions forever, but now they're just trying to get it out in the open and legitimize it and say, oh, you're a threat to national security if you don't believe what we're saying is true. When, like, these people have, like, admitted and bragged about lying to manipulate elections. All right, here's this guy, John Cipher. It's like Cipher, is that his real name? I mean, it's fitting, but he's a CIA spy. And he said, I take special pride in personally swinging the election away from Trump. You're welcome. Okay, now that he wasn't just lying, he was one of the like 50 some odd spies or intelligence officials who lied about the Hunter Biden laptop and said it was Russian disinformation. He was one of these people, and it's not just like he lied to swing an election. He lied about a candidate being compromised by foreign interests. Okay, like if you still think you live in a country, like you're insane, like you're lying to yourself. Okay, this isn't a sovereign nation. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, like thanks, guy. Like, oh, I mean, Trump wasn't, in my opinion, he's not the guy, okay? When all the chips were on the table, we still got lockdowns and Operation Warp Speed. But at least Donald Trump saw America as a sovereign nation, okay, with borders. We at least pretended like we had borders back in the day. And we had energy independence. Like, oh yeah, no, that was so bad. Yeah, thanks for manipulating the election and getting rid of Trump, you fucking spy. All right, but like, okay, I gotta show you this because it's relevant to this topic. It's relevant to the conversation. The secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. Okay, this isn't InfoWars. This isn't Breitbart or whatever. This is Time Magazine. Okay, they're just openly telling you to your face. Okay, here's a quote from the article. The participants want the secret history of the 2020 election told, even though it sounds like a paranoid fever dream, a well-funded cabal of powerful people ranging across industries and ideologies, working together behind the scenes to influence perceptions, change rules and laws, steer media coverage, and control the flow of information. They were not rigging the election. They were fortifying it. Oh, so you just described a cabal of powerful people rigging the election. Oh, but thanks for telling me what to think about what you just described. It wasn't rigging it. It was fortifying it. Okay, so this is just what these people do. This is what they have to do now to stay in power. They have to create an actual government agency from the Department of Homeland Security to manipulate perceptions. All right, oh, but we're combating Russian disinformation. Like, how are we that different from the Russians at this point? Right? Like, how are we that... the Russian oligarchs and... like, we have a cabal of powerful people that determines who wins elections. We have spies determining who wins elections. We have spies protecting the establishment. How are we different from the Russians? Besides the fact that we've invaded far more countries than them, we've killed more people than them. You know, like, war crimes in Ukraine. It's like what did we do in Iraq and Libya? Like, I mean, compared to that, like what Russia's doing in Ukraine is like a misdemeanor. You know, we've only been bombing other countries for 20 years, but here's like the evil Russians are trying to take over the world and restore the Soviet Union. It's such a joke, man. It's so disgusting to me. Like, how are people still pretending like we have a country? Like, this is a democracy. Oh, we're fighting the Russians to protect sacred democracy land. But in sacred democracy land, a cabal of powerful people manipulate your perceptions and change laws and control the media to determine who wins elections. That's your sacred democracy land that we have to fight the Russians for.